Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here.
Hello.
So today I'm here to talk about a movie that everybody and their mother has been talking about for a long time, especially if the people were from the UK. It is the Alex Garland written and directed science fiction film Ex Machina, starring Oscar Isaac, Domhnall Gleeson, and Alicia Vikander. And I know that I am saying the title of the film correctly because a couple years ago I saw an anime film called Appleseed Ex Machina, so I know that I am pronouncing Ex Machina correctly. This is a very difficult film for me to actually talk about because if I go too further into detail, I am definitely going to reveal a lot of the movie and give you a spoiler, and I will not do that. The best way to describe it, it's the story of a young man who works for a major search engine company called Blue Book, sort of like Google. His name was Caleb, and he won a contest to meet the head of Blue Book, who goes by the name of Nathan, and he has to go visit him and spend a week with him at his gorgeous secluded facility where he learns that he has been working on creating artificial intelligence, the best that the world has ever seen, that can practically change the world. And that's what the movie is all about. I was very impressed with this film. It definitely beats the hype. Everything that everyone has been saying about this film is real. The story moves well. The characters work very well off of each other. Domhnall Gleeson and Oscar Isaac are two of my favorite actors that are out there right now. And before they actually become members of the Star Wars universe this December, it's good to see a movie like this. Oscar Isaac I've been raving about, especially since I saw him earlier this year in the film A Most Violent Year. I seriously feel that before he goes on to be in Star Wars and the next X-Men movie, you should definitely see that film and Ex Machina. Same can be said about Domhnall Gleeson. Even though he did start with the Harry Potter franchise, he wasn't Unbroken, but these two really worked well off of each other, and the same can be said about Domhnall Gleeson working off of Alicia Vikander. I thought that she did a fantastic job as Ava, and she definitely gave me that artificial intelligence vibe, very similarly, but not necessarily the exact replica of what Scarlett Johansson did in the Luc Besson film Lucy, which came out last summer as another science fiction film that I would recommend to you. But Ex Machina definitely falls into the category of subtle science fiction without the crazy special effects. Although I will admit that the special effects done for Ava's body were top-notch, and I wouldn't be surprised if it gets nominated for visual effects awards. But this goes up there with movies like Blade Runner, Gattaca, Donnie Darko, those kinds of films, because that's exactly what it feels like. It's one of those movies that really makes you think. Even though it is an AI film and it's definitely not an original story, I can definitely pinpoint a couple of spots where I did see some references to other films that revolved around AI, but the movie was very well done. I mean, it was perfectly paced. I was definitely on the edge of my seat, even though it was so subtle, but it kept me thinking throughout, especially at the end of the film, when you wonder if it was all about understanding how artificial intelligence works, or could it possibly have been something else, and were there other motives for the reason as to why Caleb came to visit Nathan to take a look at Ava. But I think one of the strongest points in this film is definitely the Jeff Barron, Ben Salisbury score, especially when you take a look at the opening and ending sequences about how dialogue doesn't necessarily need to play a role in engaging an audience and moving a film. That was done brilliantly through the score. Definitely one of the more original pieces that I have heard in the past couple of months, probably since the Gone Girl soundtrack from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. That music was just so different, and it just moved in so many different ways and triggered so many different kinds of emotions alongside the rest of what the movie had to offer. The only thing that I would say that's negative about this film is that I found it to be a little too predictable. I know that a lot of people have been saying great things about it, not saying that it's a bad movie, but there were just some things that I figured out right off the bat and just said to myself, really, I was expecting a little bit more. Is it the best movie that I've seen this year? It's one of the best, but I still don't think that it is the best. I think that there may be one or two better films than Ex Machina that has come out this year. Is this movie going to get a lot of award nominations and wins? I think that the Oscars are not going to let this one be forgotten. I wouldn't be surprised if screenwriting, if acting, if visual effects, if score, cinematography, all of those awards definitely have Ex Machina written all over it, especially the beautiful, lush greenery that surrounded the complex of Nathan. Like, it got to the point where I really just felt so tranquil and, like, wanted to have a home that felt like that and was surrounded by all this beauty of nature. I would say that if you are a science fiction fan that is looking for something truly engaging and definitely something that is not the typical science fiction film, Ex Machina is definitely one for you, and I am going to give Ex Machina 3.5 out of 4. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm hoping that you are satisfied with what I had to say about this movie. I'm probably the last one to review this film. I'm definitely glad that I saw it. I'm definitely interested in seeing it again and possibly purchasing it on DVD as well, because I really appreciate those real thought-provoking science fiction films. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Actions speak louder than words.